Shalom. Shalom means peace. Shalom is a Hebrew word that is not limited only to peace in the sense of absence of war, but it is the well-being of all human persons, the well-being of the entire universe. And this is exactly what the Bible is trying to achieve through various books. The Hebrew Bible has three sections. The first section is known as Torah, that means the law, the first 5 books. The Greek version of those first 5 books is known as the Pentateuch. The second section is known as Navi'im, means prophets or prophetical books. And the Hebrew Bible has 2 sections of the prophetical books, the former prophets and the later prophets. The third section is known as the Ketuvim. Ketuvim means other writings. And in these other writings, we have the book of Psalms, the poetry, the wisdom literature, and the historical books. Today we are going to discuss about the wisdom literature in the Catholic Bible. We had a professor in the seminary named Father Francis Ripoll. He used to say, "The wise man has something to say, but the fool has to say something." Here the word wise and fool does not mean only intellectual capacity or whether a person is dull or learned or illiterate. An illiterate person can be wise and a learned person can be a fool. Therefore, Father Hedwig Lewis says, to be learned means to know about others, but to be wise means to know about yourself. There are few definitions which are given by the scripture scholars about wisdom. The first definition is, wisdom is an art of assimilating practical knowledge based on observation, introspection, and personal experience. The second definition is, it is a quest for self-understanding in relation to people, things, and events of one's daily life. Or the third definition is, it is an art of maintaining a balance between the world order and the order within. And all the wisdom books of the Bible are trying to give us a glimpse of this wisdom. So let us study this biblical wisdom literature under 7 questions. The first question is, which are the wisdom books in the Bible? There are 5 books which are known as wisdom books. The first one is the book of Proverbs with 31 chapters. The second one is the book of Job with 42 chapters. The third is the book of Kohelet, which is also known as Ecclesiastes, which has just 12 chapters. You just see the spelling of Ecclesiastes, it has 12 letters. That is how you can keep in mind that there are 12 chapters to this book. Then there is a book called Ben Sira, also known as Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, which has 51 chapters. And the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, which has 15 chapters. So all these 5 books are known as the wisdom books. Father Roland Murphy has written a book called The Tree of Life. And in this book, he has also included the book of Psalms and the Song of Songs as wisdom literature. So these 2 books were considered as wisdom books in the past, but now they are no more considered as wisdom books. But there are few psalms which are wisdom psalms, or love itself can be part of wisdom, and therefore the songs have this element of wisdom, but they are not totally wisdom books. The second question that we deal with is, why are these books called wisdom books? human life is full of wisdom. Human life is also full of lot of questions. What is the meaning of life? Why there is suffering? What is the meaning of death? What is the meaning of different events which take place in our life? How do we understand the other person? How do we understand nature? How do we understand innocent suffering? Various questions that human beings deal with. And the wisdom books are trying to give practical answers to these questions. One of the questions is, how do I know the will of God? This also is highlighted by the wisdom books. And therefore, these books are focusing basically on wisdom, which is very practical knowledge based on experience, observation, and introspection. And the sages of the old have accumulated all these wisdom and put into the form of books. The third question that we want to deal with is, when were these wisdom books written? Actually, wisdom is an eternal reality. Wisdom began with God and wisdom ends with God. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the climax of wisdom is in God Himself. But practically speaking, when do we place these books in time and space? There are various opinions. Some Bible scholars suggest that Israel's wisdom tradition existed in oral form during the second millennium. That means years 2000 to 1000 BCE, before Christian era or before Common Era. But the actual compiling and editing of these 5 books took place only in the 5th century BCE to the 1st century BCE. That means the book of Job was compiled between 500 and 400 BCE. The book of Proverbs was compiled between 400 BCE and 350 BCE. Or the book of Kohelet was compiled somewhere between 300 and 250 BCE. The book of Ben Sira was originally written in Hebrew in the year 180 and was translated into Greek somewhere between 130 to 120 BCE. Finally, the book of Wisdom of Solomon was compiled between 50 to 25 BCE. So you can see a range of time from 500 BCE to 25 BCE is the span during which the wisdom books were compiled. How and why were these wisdom books written? So let us first answer the question, how these books were written. Israel had its covenantal tradition, and this covenantal tradition had 7 covenants. That means the covenant with Adam, the covenant with Noah, the covenant with Moses, the covenant with Abraham, the covenant with David, the covenant with Jeremiah. So 7 different covenants, and this covenantal tradition had wisdom in them, and this was passed on from one generation to the next. So this was the covenantal tradition of Israel. Israel also borrowed wisdom from Egypt, and that is called royal court wisdom of the scribes. So in the royal court of the king there were scribes. So Solomon invited them to his royal court, and those scribes started teaching the noble personalities, and wisdom was born there. They were keeping records of various happenings. They were giving advice to the king. They were interpreting the laws, executing the laws, and this is how wisdom was at work in the royal courts of the king. The second source of wisdom literature is the folk wisdom of Mesopotamia. This wisdom is known as family wisdom. That means in the family, the parents were teaching the children, and that is how wisdom was handed over from one generation to the next. Then there was a decentralization movement. After the Babylonian exile, Israel had its own different self-understanding. That means there was no more temple had to be built again. There was no more kings, there were outsiders who were ruling Israel, and the national unity was at stake. And there was a decentralization of all this. That means from temple to Torah, from the royal courts of the king to the family, to the rabbis, and from the national unity to family welfare. This was the decentralization that took place. And that is how we know that the scribes, the rabbis were giving the wisdom on one hand, and the parents were giving wisdom to the children on the other. And this is how we see that wisdom was handed over at two different levels. Why were these wisdom books written? We know the situation in that span of time when the wisdom books are written. Israel had two problems. One is identity crisis and the other one is inferiority complex. Identity crisis means Israel was wondering, how is that God is allowing others to rule over us? The Assyrians came, the Babylonians came, then the Persians came, the Greeks are coming, and they are coming with their own whims and fancies. How do we respond to this situation? And they try to respond in various ways. One response was political, and the book of Maccabees is written against that background. Another response was apocalyptic. Apocalyptic means believing in the future, that God will intervene in the future and make situation better for us. But the third response was sapiential. The word sapiential comes from the Greek word sophia, means wisdom. That means in the given situation, how can I use my wisdom and make my life better? This is why the wisdom books were written. First was identity crisis. The second one was inferiority complex. All the foreigners were bringing in their knowledge and their wisdom, and they were trying to claim that we have the truth. They were trying to show that our religion, our culture is higher, superior to your culture and your religion, your language. And therefore, wisdom sages tried to show that we also have our wisdom, we also have our heroes, we also have our culture, we also have our God, who is the source of all wisdom. All this we can see in the wisdom books. Who wrote these wisdom books? We know that from the time of King Solomon, that is 971 to 932 BCE, the Egyptian scribes gathered wisdom which was available in the palace. After the return of the people from Babylonian in 538 BCE, the rabbis collected family wisdom given to the children by their parents. Then the scribes also gathered wisdom literature available in the temple, in the Torah. Hence, the authorship of these books go to the scribes in the royal court, the rabbis in the society, and the parents in the family. In the broader sense of the word, authorship. Authorship in the Bible has two meanings. One is responsibility, and the second one is composite reality. Responsibility means somebody has to be responsible, and corporate reality means that authorship is not attributed to one single person, but to a school. So when we talk about Matthew's gospel, it is Matthean school. Luke's gospel, Lucan school, or Markan school, Johannine school. So similarly, in the Old Testament, the Torah belonged to Moses, but it is a Mosaic thought that is gathered together. Or the Psalms are attributed to David, but there are also other writers. Similarly, wisdom literature is attributed to Solomon. Solomon is known as the patron of Jewish wisdom literature. So far, we have dealt with 5 questions. Which are the wisdom books? Why the wisdom books are called wisdom books? When were these books written? How and why these books were written? And who wrote these books? Now we are going to deal with 2 more questions. Why wisdom literature is attributed to Solomon? 1 Kings 1 to 11 are the chapters that give you the description of the life and work of wisdom of Solomon. King Solomon is considered as the wisest king in the whole Bible. And if you read chapters 3 and 4 of the first Kings, there you will get how he becomes a wise person. The first instance that we can see is he is asking God to give him wisdom, a hearing mind. He says, I am a young man. I do not know how to look after my people. So I need this gift of wisdom. He did not ask for long life. He did not ask for riches. He did not ask for victory over his enemies. But he asked for wisdom. And therefore God was so pleased that he was granted the gift of wisdom. This gift is tested immediately in the next passage, where 2 prostitutes come with a problem. And Solomon resolves this problem with the help of his wisdom. His fame spreads all over across the sea, and people start coming visiting him. And there we can see the Queen of Sheba coming and visiting him. The point over there is the queen had everything, but she was longing for wisdom. This search and thirst of wisdom is there in the heart of each and every human person. And that queen becomes the symbol of that thirst and yearning and longing to know the truth. She was so happy and so satisfied with all the questions that were answered by Solomon that she went away satisfied and fulfilled. Then we see in chapter 4 of the first Kings, verses from 29 to 34, the wisdom that is attributed to Solomon. 300,000 proverbs, 1,005 songs, then animal wisdom and plant wisdom. Now comes the question, how such a great person who is known as the patron of Jewish wisdom literature declined? And we are told in chapter 11, because there were queens, there were concubines, and there were wives from foreign countries. They brought in their own idols and gods. Solomon started worshipping them. In fact, Solomon had built such a big temple and he was worshipping the God of Israel, Yahweh. But now he started worshipping other gods, and those small temples were the cause of the destruction of the big temple. But in the case of Solomon, he lost the gift of wisdom. He did not follow the way of wisdom, then he declined. The message is, we cannot take the gift of God for granted. We have to protect the gift of wisdom that God has given to us. Solomon is known as the patron of Jewish wisdom literature because out of 5 books, 3 books are attributed to Solomon. The book of Proverbs, the book of Kohelet, that is Ecclesiastes, and the book of the wisdom of Solomon. These 3 books are attributed to Solomon, and therefore Solomon is known as the patron of Jewish wisdom literature. The last question that we deal with is there any other wisdom literature in the Old Testament besides these wisdom books? Yes. The book of Genesis speaks of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God had cautioned Adam and Eve that you can eat the fruit of any tree, but not that particular tree. Why? Good and evil is not decided by we human beings. It is already decided by God. We have to accept good and evil according to God's will, God's plans. Or we can see Pharaoh consulting Joseph as a wise man. We can see Nathan giving a message to David, King David, in a parabolic way. Or Daniel is presented as a wise young man. The prophets also use wisdom to inspire the people to repent. Don't say that our fathers ate the grapes and our teeth are set on edge. Every person who sins has to be responsible for his own sins. So personal responsibility was the message through the wisdom parables that are given by the prophets. So today we have dealt with the introduction to wisdom literature. In the next sessions, we shall deal with two important things. One, the 5 books of wisdom literature. We shall deal with them in 2 parts. In the first part, 3 books attributed to Solomon, namely the book of Proverbs, the book of Kohelet, and third, the book of Wisdom of Solomon. In the second part, we shall deal with the mystery of undeserved suffering in the book of Job and the book of Ben Sira, where Torah is equated with wisdom. So we shall see you in the next session. Shalom, peace.